You say yes when you mean no. You try to make yourself smaller so the people around you feel more comfortable. You ignore what your body's telling you and do what you think you should do. You find yourself putting everyone else's needs first, and yours don't even make the list. That's not being a good person or an extra kind person. You're already kind, you're already good. That's you abandoning yourself to make the people around you want you. And that's actually self abandonment. It's where you're abandoning yourself in favor of trying to feel like you belong. I'm Jack Walker. My wife Tiffany and I are the founders of Your Return Path. And today I'm going to show you exactly what self abandonment fully looks like, why you do it, and how to stop so you can come home to yourself. What self abandonment actually is, it's when you leave yourself, your needs, your time, what you feel like your energy needs, what you need to do for yourself, for your day, for your work, and you find yourself abandoning that part of you, putting it aside in order to make someone else around you happy or comfortable. That's you saying yes when you mean no. That's you ignoring when your body's yelling at you, right? It's like, hey, pay attention. You need to lay down and take a little rest. You're tired. You put everyone else's needs first, always. Their needs matter, yours don't. What they want is more important. Their feelings are valid, yours aren't. Their feelings are more important than yours. You are too much if you feel and do what you want to do for yourself. So you put yourself last on your list. You feel guilty for having any needs at all, almost as if you should be needless, have no needs. And when you do have a need, you feel selfish, especially if you actually try to take care of that need. And then the feelings of selfishness come up where you find yourself apologizing left and right for it. You try to make yourself smaller so you're less inconvenient to the people around you. Does this sound familiar? If it is, if it does, don't be afraid to say yes, because this is where it begins. You have to recognize where you are in order to get to where you want to be. Until we make the unconscious part of ourselves conscious, it will continue to direct our life. We will call it fate. That is a quote by Carl Jung. But that unconscious part is unconscious. These ways of being with yourself, abandoning yourself, is a very conscious pattern. You don't even recognize it because you've lived it so long. That's why I bring it to the forefront so you can see yourself here. As a kid, in this scenario, as a kid, your needs weren't safe to have. Maybe your parents were super overwhelmed. Maybe there was a lot going on in their relationship or their lives. Maybe you were raised by a single parent that was working more than one job, and you learned how to get smaller and smaller to not add to the stress in the home. Maybe you expressing your needs or speaking up or vocalizing lent to you being yelled at, right? So you learn how to not take up space. You learn how to not ask for anything. You made a very strong decision, and this is what pushes the pattern. You made a decision, something like, my needs are a burden. If I have needs, I won't be safe. If I have needs, I won't be loved. If I have needs, I won't belong. Or maybe you decided, I have to take care of the adults around me so that I'm safe. Maybe you became the emotional support for your caregiver, your mom, your dad. Maybe you learned that you had to be there for them. And maybe you experienced that you were loved when you didn't cause any problems. Maybe you were the good one. Maybe you were the child that they didn't have to worry about. And that's where you have to do it all right. And if you don't do it right, you aren't worthy of the love that you received all of your life for doing it right. And that's where you learn to abandon your own self, your own needs, your own feelings, your own ideas, in order to be the good one, right? The one that was praised, the one that felt worthy of love. This is how it works. And you learn that I have to abandon myself in order to be loved. If I'm too much like that sibling or that person, I'll be rejected. That's where the pattern starts. So, yes, you did make a decision. Yes, you decided that if you take care of yourself, you're selfish. If you prioritize yourself, you could be rejected. If you push the line, oh, God forbid, go against the structure or the construct or the religion or the whatever that your family that you were raised in, you go against that, it will push that deepest fear, core fear in you that I lose love. I won't be accepted. I won't be worthy of love. And it's all running unconsciously. So, what is the cost of self abandonment? What is it? The very biggest cost that you will see is exhaustion. You will get to a point where your body says no. Maybe it's having illnesses. Maybe you're getting hurt a lot. Maybe you're having a lot of pain. Either way, you're just so damn exhausted. You can hardly see straight. You're running on empty all the time because you're so busy giving everything to everyone else all the time. Another really big issue of abandoning yourself and what you need and your feelings and your ideas is you're going to resent the shit out of everyone around you. And it will be very hard to differentiate why you're doing what you're doing because it's an unconscious pattern based on a vow that I have to make sure and take care of everyone else, make everyone else happy in order for me to be worthy of love. And then you're going to resent everyone because you're going to be doing things for other people that isn't what you want for yourself. And another thing is that you'll feel invisible. And the reason you feel invisible is because you learned how to make yourself invisible. And the way we make ourselves invisible is hiding our own needs, hiding our own feelings, putting them all on the back burner so that everyone around us is happy and comfortable. Another very big cost of abandoning yourself is no self trust. You externalize your ideas of who you're supposed to be. You externalize what you believe. You externalize, and it's always hooked to the people around you so that you can keep yourself loved and safe, so you feel like you belong. And when you don't trust yourself, how do you make a decision for something that's really important to you, like a career change, a big relationship move? The biggest problem, the thing that causes us to lose trust of self is that we override our own knowing continually from the time we were little. And we do it steadily and continually and in every relationship, in every place. And we wonder why we feel so fucking dead to ourselves. Another cost of self abandonment is you find yourself stuck in relationships that drain the life force energy out of you. And that doesn't just mean your intimate partners, that also means your friendships, that means your work relationships, that means your job, right? Because you taught people that your needs don't matter. At work, you pick up every single project, you do it all. If someone asks you to do anything, you say yes. You're working extra hours. You're the one that's working all night. Other people are just sitting around binging Netflix and making more money than you or having more deals closed than you because you're running around trying to make sure everyone around you has what they need rather than being able to find a balance with your own energy. And the biggest cost is that you've lost yourself. You don't even know who you are anymore. You could be like me, and for a very long time, I didn't even know what my favorite color was because I was so dead set making sure my mom was happy. Because in my young mind, my mom's unhappiness was equated with losing her. Because my dad was killed when I was 11 years old, and I watched my mom, I'm the youngest of seven, I watched my mom grieving. And I remember the day sitting underneath the dining table that I made a very clear decision for myself that I would keep her happy at all costs. Little did I know when I was making that decision that I was actually choosing that the cost would be my own feelings. I have to keep her happy no matter how I feel. If I do anything or say anything that causes her unhappiness, I remember when I got accepted to two different colleges, the one that I wanted to go to, she didn't want me to go to that one. And she stopped talking to me for 3 weeks because I told her that I wanted to go to this other college. Guess which one I went to? the one she wanted me to go to. True story. That's the cost. So, how do we stop abandoning ourselves? How do we break this pattern? And I want you to know that breaking this pattern doesn't make you selfish, but your brain's going to tell you that if I stop making sure other people around me are comfortable, I will be the most selfish person I know. It will mean that I don't care about anyone else. And I say, no, that's not true. It means you're coming home to yourself. And when you come home to yourself, you're in a state of coherence with yourself. You are expressing more from your soul's true essence as you were created as. We are unique, individualized expressions of the divine. That means you are unique. You are unique. And that means you being in coherence with yourself means you're going to express that frequency that you are, right? So let's talk about how you do this. Step one, you have to notice when you're abandoning yourself. That's the very first step. You have to pay attention to the moments when you're saying yes, but what you really want to say is no. When you are ignoring your hunger, exhaustion, pain cues. When your body's telling you it's time to stop, it's time to lay down, take a rest, do a meditation, take a 5-minute breather, step outside, get something you like. No, I just gotta finish this race. Oh my God, I lived there so many years. Or you find yourself performing, putting on a fake face instead of being real, not saying what you really mean. And sometimes you don't even know what you really mean. You'll also find yourself self-abandonment also looks like you putting yourself last again, saying yes to everything. Another really key indicator is when you feel resentful for doing something for someone else. It is a dead ringer. The resentment that your body's saying you just abandoned me again. Start noticing. Don't judge it. Just see it. The next part is you have to name the vow. You have to recognize what you decided was true for you. And this decision was made as a little kid. And it could be, the vow could be, I have to say yes or they'll leave. I have to make sure they're happy or I'll be alone. My needs are a burden and that will make them not want me. You have to hear it. You have to recognize what it is you have been doing, what vow you made as a kid that's perpetuating the self-abandonment. The third step is we have to reality check this vow. Did it really, truly keep you safe by abandoning yourself? Did it? Does it? Do you feel so safe and loved and connected every time you're saying yes when you really mean no? Do you feel peace and ease and flow, or do you feel resentment? You have to reality check this. Does ignoring your own needs and wants make you feel worthy? Does it give you a sense of value, a true one where you actually feel like you as an individualized expression is worthy of love, even if you didn't do a goddamn thing? You just showed up and you were being yourself? That's the truth. So you have to reality check it, and you will see that this vow has never, not one day, given you what you believed it would and what you've been busting your ass to get to. I'm 57 years old. I still have vows that are running that I haven't seen yet, but I have patterns that I've broken and vows that have been running those patterns for 30, 40, 50 years. It's deep. It's body system architecture. Your nervous system, this is built into your nervous system. The next step after you reality check the vow and see that it never delivered what it promised is that you have to witness your younger self. That's where you go to that part of you and see that part of you back over there when they were a kid, when they were going through that hard thing. That would be like me sitting under the dining table by my 11-year-old self that was looking over at his mom, making a decision that I have to keep her happy at all costs or I'll be completely unsafe and alone. I won't have anyone. My dad had just been killed. So in my mind, my mom's grief equaled loss, that I would lose her too. So it was life and death. And the witness part is where you actually disconnect the vow because you're witnessing yourself in the pain, where that part of you was suffering, and you go there and you let that part of you be held by the adult wisdom that you carry today. And it's beautiful. And you let that part of you know that your needs matter, that this was a decision that was made based on kid logic as you went through this very hard thing. And we're going to let that go now because I'm right here. You're not alone. I see you. And you let that part of you matter and take up space and let them know that their needs are not too much, that you don't have to earn love by disappearing, that it doesn't work and has never worked. And you've been trying for a good, 5 decades. And now you have the really good news that there's nothing about this that's true. You can let it go. You don't have to work so hard anymore. And then the last step is that you start actively practicing small acts of self-loyalty, being true to oneself, self-kindness, taking a rest in the afternoon, taking a 15-minute break because your body and mind is just totally overdone. This is how you act it. This is how you practice small acts of self-loyalty. You be good to you. You treat yourself with grace, kindness, just like you would treat anyone else, right? You're so good at it. Maybe a better way of saying this is treat other people the way that you treat them. I mean, treat yourself. Let me get that right. Treat yourself like you've been treating everyone else. Right there will just be the dead giveaway. The minute you start saying yes to yourself like you say to everyone else, your life will change radically. These are not selfish acts. These are acts of self-loyalty. And every time you do that, you're teaching your nervous system that you're allowed to come home to yourself, that you're allowed to prioritize you, that you matter. Repeat after me. I'm allowed to come home to myself. I'm allowed to prioritize me. I matter to me. So let's talk about, before we wrap up, what becomes possible when you stop abandoning yourself, when you actually know what you want. You have clarity because you trust that your needs matter. You can say no without guilt. You feel seen. You have energy. You trust yourself. You attract relationships where you're actually valued because you're valuing yourself. Do you think truly you can attract a relationship that values you at a high level when you don't value you? No, you're going to be looking for that relationship to prove to you that you're valuable, and it will never work. The answer to all of this self-abandonment is you come home to yourself. That's what's possible when you start being loyal to you, when you see clearly what you're doing, when you discredit the vow that was made, when you witness yourself there, when you start practicing self-loyalty. So here's the question, the real question. Are you abandoning yourself? Are you ready to be done? Are you saying yes when you mean no, ignoring your body, making yourself small, putting everyone else first while you disappear? Well, I'm telling you right now, you're allowed to come home. It is your day. And if you're ready to break the self-abandonment pattern, come do a pattern breakthrough session with one of our team. And we will assist you for free to break a pattern that is breaking you. It could be the self-abandonment pattern. Click the link below this video. Break the pattern. Your life is on the other side.